Hello, my friends. Dustin Davis here with everything you need to know about the Detroit Lions. One injury can shift everything. The Detroit Lions walked off the field Thursday night with a victory, but the cost of that win may prove steeper than the final score suggests. Inside the organization, concerns are mounting. The secondary continues to bleed talent at the worst possible moment, while questions about long-term roster construction remain unanswered. Each week brings fresh uncertainty about whether this team can hold together through December. The margin for error has vanished. What happens next will determine whether Detroit's season ends in January glory or familiar disappointment. Let's check out some big moves in Detroit. First, friends, can I ask for a small favor? If you're liking what we're doing, click the like button to show your support. It truly means a lot. Thanks again. Detroit secured a crucial win against Dallas on Thursday evening, but the victory left a bitter residue. Safety Brian Branch departed the contest in the fourth quarter after sustaining an ankle injury, and the sight of him being carted from the field cast an immediate pall over the locker room. Branch had been noticeably affected earlier in the matchup, but continued playing until the injury became too severe to ignore. Dan Campbell declined to offer specifics about Branch's condition postgame, stating he would need additional time to assess the situation. He didn't finish the game, but there again, I'll know more tomorrow, Campbell told reporters, according to Jeremy Raceman of Pride of Detroit. Carlos Monarrez of the Detroit Free Press observed Branch in the locker room following the contest, noting the safety was using crutches and wearing a protective boot. Dave Burkett relayed Monarrez's findings, adding that Campbell's comments offer little reassurance about Branch's immediate availability. The visual evidence raises red flags. In a best-case scenario, Branch is dealing with a low ankle sprain, an injury that typically requires 1 to 2 weeks of recovery for most players. The darker possibility involves a high ankle sprain, which generally demands 4 to 6 weeks away from game action and could eliminate Branch from postseason competition should Detroit advance. Branch's absence would compound an already precarious situation in Detroit's safety rotation. Kirby Joseph has missed considerable time nursing a knee problem, while Thomas Harper was forced from Thursday's game after suffering a concussion. The secondary's depth has evaporated at precisely the wrong moment in the calendar. Additional clarity was anticipated Friday, but the initial signs painted a troubling picture for both Branch's health and Detroit's defensive backfield stability heading into the season's final stretch. While the secondary deals with immediate crisis, the front office is already mapping out moves that could secure the roster's future. Detroit's front office appears poised to address offensive tackle depth and succession planning when the offseason arrives. Taylor Decker's potential retirement looms as a realistic possibility, while Giovanni Manu continues searching for the consistency expected of an NFL-caliber tackle through his first 2 professional seasons. These circumstances have elevated left tackle to a position of strategic importance for the Lions' personnel department. Early projections for the 2026 draft have begun circulating as college football enters its bowl season. Multiple analysts have positioned Detroit somewhere in the middle portion of the first round, a projection suggesting some experts anticipate Dan Campbell's squad will fall short of playoff qualification this season. Dan Brugler's latest mock draft placed the Lions at pick number 17 and connected them to an SEC offensive lineman. General Manager Brad Holmes has demonstrated comfort selecting from that conference, evidenced by the recent addition of Miles Frazier, who saw his first NFL action in the Dallas game. Brugler identified Alabama's Caden Proctor as a natural fit for Detroit's needs, describing him as a potential successor to Decker, who will be 33 when next season begins. Brugler noted that Proctor's profile would appeal to Campbell's evaluation preferences. Proctor would be an easy sell in Detroit's war room. Just show Dan Campbell clips of the 360-pounder catching screens and lining up in the backfield. I'm half kidding, but Proctor would give the Lions a potential heir apparent at left tackle and immediate depth at guard. Proctor's film showcased quick feet, the size and athleticism to neutralize diverse edge threats, and a pass-blocking foundation that earns positive evaluations despite areas for improvement in run defense mechanics. The Football Writers Association of America recognized Proctor's talent earlier this year, naming him among 7 semifinalists for the Outland Trophy, which recognizes college football's premier interior offensive lineman. Alabama's official communications confirmed Proctor's semifinalist status and noted that 3 finalists would be revealed on November 25th, with the award recipients announced at the Home Depot College Football Awards on December 12th. Proctor did not advance to the finalist stage. A familiar name just hit the waiver wire, and his history with this organization makes the timing almost too perfect to ignore. Detroit faces the season's final 5 weeks confronting defensive vulnerabilities that have materialized at an inopportune moment. After positioning themselves competitively in the NFC playoff picture, the Lions' defense has regressed noticeably, allowing 58 points and 876 yards in their last 2 contests, and dropping to the league's middle tier in both categories. The situation deteriorated further when Terrion Arnold landed on injured reserve following a shoulder problem that emerged after just 18 snaps in his return from concussion protocol. Arnold will miss at least 4 games, leaving the cornerback position dangerously thin. An unexpected development occurred when Pittsburgh waived veteran cornerback Darius Slay to accommodate Asante Samuel Jr. on their active roster, per Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. Ian Rappaport reported that Slay, who previously played for Detroit, remains interested in continuing his career and is weighing his options. The 34-year-old must navigate the waiver process before joining another team, but his sudden availability presents a low-risk opportunity for a Lions secondary desperate for proven talent. Slay's most productive seasons unfolded during his initial 7-year stint in Detroit, a period that produced 3 consecutive Pro Bowl selections and established him as one of the conference's elite shutdown corners. He proved capable of neutralizing top receivers on the perimeter and forcing offensive coordinators to adjust their game plans. His departure from Detroit involved friction, particularly with the coaching staff under Matt Patricia. But his familiarity with the organization and understanding of the market remain factors worth considering. Slay's tenure in Philadelphia yielded continued success, including a Super Bowl championship that validated his ability to perform at an elite level. His 2025 move to Pittsburgh, however, produced inconsistent playing time. He struggled to secure a regular role and occasionally appeared as a healthy inactive. When he did play, his performance remained adequate. Pro Football Focus assigned him a 58.3 defensive grade across 9 starts with the Steelers, a modest figure relative to his peak, but still superior to Terrion Arnold's early career marks. Slay's skill set offers flexibility. He can handle boundary assignments in press man coverage, contribute in zone schemes, and slide into certain nickel packages when required. For Detroit, the immediate benefit lies in his availability and experience. Slay understands the preparation necessary for critical situations, can disguise coverage intentions, and handles in-game adjustments against sophisticated offensive systems. Following Arnold's injury, Detroit's cornerback rotation includes DJ Reed, Amik Robertson, and Rock Ya-Sin, with Avonte Maddox and Khalil Dorsey providing depth. Incorporating Slay would give the Lions a veteran capable of absorbing early down responsibilities, handling opponents' premier perimeter weapons, and easing the load on less experienced corners. A player with Slay's resume delivers mentorship benefits that can accelerate younger cornerbacks' development. His film study approach, attention to alignment precision, and game day preparation routines represent assets that elevate the entire position group, particularly valuable when the season's critical weeks demand flawless execution. Age and physical decline cannot be ignored. At 34, Slay's recovery capacity and vertical explosion have diminished from his prime years. Any acquisition would likely involve a short-term deal with performance-based incentives rather than a long-term commitment. But for a team facing immediate needs, the exchange between proven experience and declining athleticism may prove worthwhile. Slay must clear waivers before signing with a new organization. This timeline creates urgency for front offices evaluating him as a fit before the postseason arrives. But Slay isn't the only veteran cornerback whose phone might be ringing. Another elite defender has suddenly become available. Thursday night's 44-30 victory over Dallas at Ford Field improved Detroit's record to 8-5 and delivered much-needed momentum. The win provided relief, but it simultaneously highlighted the persistent inconsistency that has plagued this roster throughout the campaign. Compounding the inconsistency is a decimated secondary. Injuries have stripped Detroit's depth and forced greater dependence on external additions to stabilize the defensive backfield. Stephon Gilmore presents a compelling option, bringing credentials that warrant Hall of Fame consideration. Super Bowl champion, former NFL Defensive Player of the Year, and multiple All-Pro selections.
Despite his decorated career, Gilmore has indicated openness to joining a contender if the right opportunity emerges. Speculation and fan campaigns have linked him to Buffalo, but Detroit should pursue him aggressively should he express interest in joining a playoff-caliber team. Even at 35, Gilmore has maintained productive play on Sundays. His Pro Football Focus grades over the past 3 seasons registered at 79.1, 74.4, and 63.9, figures demonstrating a capable veteran still contributing in appropriate roles. He may no longer be the lockdown corner of his prime, but his instincts, competitive drive, and experience in high-stakes contests make him a viable specialist or rotational starter for a defense harboring championship aspirations. The Lions' definition has absorbed devastating blows. Terrion Arnold will miss the season's remainder after sustaining a shoulder injury, and Brian Branch suffered a torn Achilles in Week 14 against Dallas, ending his season. These losses strengthen the argument for pursuing an established, available veteran. Gilmore represents a minimal-risk, potentially high-reward addition who could provide stability through the season's final stretch. Any agreement with Gilmore would likely feature short-term parameters with performance incentives and limited guaranteed money. At this point in the calendar, such structure benefits both parties. Gilmore gains an opportunity to compete in meaningful games, while Detroit limits long-term financial commitment while adding a known quantity at a depleted position. With the playoffs approaching and the secondary battered, Detroit's front office should at minimum reach out to Gilmore's representation. If he is genuinely open to playing, as reports indicate, there exists minimal downside to bringing in a veteran who has demonstrated continued impact capability and can mentor younger defensive backs through film work, alignment instruction, and situational wisdom. Would Stephon Gilmore be the perfect addition to stabilize Detroit's battered secondary? Is a 35-year-old corner with Hall of Fame credentials worth pursuing for a playoff run, or should the Lions stick with their younger players and hope for the best? With both Branch and Arnold out, does Brad Holmes need to make this call immediately? Let us know what you think in the comments. Support the channel by leaving a like and subscribing. Stay one step ahead with all the latest on Lions. See you in the next one.